Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome to Straight Talk with DJ Doc. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is having a great week. We had a fantastic weekend, just relaxed a little bit, and did a couple of events. Yeah, Lady Rock and I are all over the place. We went to a 360 glam with Twyla. All right, Lady Rock was there and she spoke there. And then we went to the Legacy Hotel and Resorts, where we were there with Alon Troutman for a tribute to Marvin Gaye. We've been all over the place. And if you missed those, you want to make sure you don't miss any more that come up. We'll definitely let you know about those. But today I wanted to have everybody come on in because we are going to be talking with a young lady that I've known for a while. She is a model and she is also someone that deals with lupus. We're going to be talking with her today, letting you know all about the disease lupus, as well as her modeling with it. Okay. The young lady I'm going to bring, and I'll let you see her in just a second here. Um, Let me get some info here. Don't y'all look at me all crazed. Don't look at me all crazed. This young lady is Miss Shakita Jones. All right. She lives with lupus and mental illness. She's made lupus awareness her passion and mission in life. She established herself as an advocate in 2014 while finding the silver lining in being diagnosed with both illnesses. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to the show Miss Shakita Jones. Hey Shakita, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing well. So I told everybody, that we've known each other for a while now. I met
Right,
you initially when we did a fashion show together.
right. Yeah,
Remember
I
that?
recall that.
Yes, yes. And I want you to start out and tell us how long have you been modeling?
So professionally, I've been modeling now for 2 years. I started uh, when I turned 43, actually. It was a gift to myself. I always wanted to model. So I did it. Stepped out on faith and I did it.
And I love the fact that you said you started at 43. You
Yeah,
know, you
I
didn't
did.
let that stop you, and that's fantastic. A lot of people, males and females, they tend to start early.
Hmm.
They tend to start early. Now, what was your drive? What was the overwhelming drive for you to start modeling?
Um, my drive was the fact that people said I couldn't do it because of my age.
Okay,
So I did it. I wanted to prove them wrong, and I also wanted to prove myself right that I can do it. And so that's
excellent.
my thrive. Um, a lot of times I'm with girls that are in their uh, late 20s, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. It's something that I'm very passionate about. Something that I really enjoy doing. I'm glad that we're back open now, so that I can go full force doing it all over again.
Okay. Now, with the modeling, what type of modeling are you doing?
Let's see. I've done print and what do you call it? Lifestyle, print,
Okay.
lifestyle, and I do runway. So mainly those three things. Yeah,
And I
and
wanted,
I also been published a few times, so I'm proud of that. So
okay.
all my haters can see that.
And I want to put up a couple of pictures of you with the modeling and so forth. Now, this one, I like this. This is a black and white. It's natural. It just says hello to me,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
actually did that one myself.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Sometimes
proud
we
of
got
that.
to it's a true modeling selfie, huh?
Right.
And then here's one. I remember when this first came out.
Hmm.
Tell us a little
That's
bit
one of
about
my
this shoot.
favorites.
Tell us a little bit about this shoot.
Um, the Agnes Bethel. she's the creator of the heels that I have on, and I've always wanted to work with her, so I was really excited to work with her. And it was fabulous because initially when she reached out to me, she had a group of models, but
Hmm.
eventually she wanted to work with me by herself, and so the whole set was just fantastic. I mean, it was just me there getting pampered, and it turned out really good. Actually, it did.
Yes. And
And
I
those
just,
shoes that I have on, she lends those shoes out to like the Grammy and things like that.
right. Right. I know Lady Rock had been given some shoes for an event we went to, so we definitely know them. And I want to give a shout out to all our listeners, and we have a couple of people. Hi, Tammy. Thank you for tuning in. And I want to say hello to Kay. Um, and Joel. Joel says Shakita is a warrior princess. Fantastic, fantastic. Here's another one.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
another
one of
one.
my favorites.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's actually one of my first photos that I did professionally. And when I got that picture back, I was actually pretty amazed. I really was. I'm like,
Why, you didn't think you would come out like that?
well, I've never taken like a professional model picture, and when I saw it, I was just like really blown away. Like, that's me, you know. I mean, I think I'm gorgeous already, but still, I was like, this picture, it just inspired me really. And
Right.
I forget the person who I worked with, but that's one of my favorites. It really is.
Hmm. And the one thing I think that's great is the fact that you talking about that you went out and started doing this at 43, in itself is a fantastic thing, and that you're still beautiful, still beautiful, you know.
Thank you.
Okay, here,
Appreciate
here,
it.
here's another one.
Oh yeah,
That,
that's my
that that's
favorite
a
one.
diva. That's a diva right there.
Yeah.
Look at that. That pose.
Yeah,
um,
that's one of my favorite ones too. So this designer is someone that I worked with a few times before,
hmm.
and the photographer I also worked with before, and she was actually one of the first photographers, and she told me the reason why I have that pose is because when I first started, I didn't know how to do the pose. So she's like, "Do you remember the pose?" I was like, "Yeah." So I did it. She loved it. I loved it. Modeling just isn't is it's deeper than modeling because one, I do it because there's people who have lupus who feel like their life is over because they have lupus, and I
Hmm.
I get it because I felt like that too. But um, I learned how to do my own makeup, my own hair, because a lot of times the makeup artists don't have my color, so I have to come prepared. I have to have my hair done or ready. So I'm very proud of not just how beautiful the pictures are, but how my hair and makeup and everything came out also.
Fantastic. And a lot of times when you go to things like this, it is where they have a makeup artist and they have a hairstylist or dresser that works on the model. So yes, most definitely, most definitely. And I got another one here.
Oh yeah, I like this one too. This one just speaks volume to me because it's like powerful. Because it's like you have this tall, beautiful woman holding this radio in front of this bad car. It just speaks to me like badass. I'm just gonna say it like that.
Hey,
Just think
definitely,
about it.
definitely. The biggest thing and that's why people are able to sell the products that they sell and so forth, because photos are so powerful.
Oh yeah,
Whereas
they are.
you're seeing you as the badass, someone else might look and be like, that car is bad. You know,
Right,
her whole attitude makes it something that's just different. So everybody
right,
will see different things and they will all give their own interpretation. But that's what modeling is all about. It's showing
right,
whatever the product is supposed to be. And what I love in all these pictures is the fact that whatever the product was, that's what was shown. That's what stood out. Because a lot of times, Lori Lady Rock is a modeling coach, and a lot of times she winds up having to tell the models, this is about the clothing, this is about the jewelry, this is about the shoe, the car, the
Right.
radio. It's not about you. And that's where
Right.
you can see the difference between those that play at modeling and those that
Mhm.
actually do model, you know. And
Right. Thank
she
you.
knows that my eye, I'll look and I'll be like, okay, you got to tell that one. Because we don't need to see her. We need to know that she's there, but the clothing is what we need to see. Her moving all over the
Right.
place and so forth. No. So I love all
Well,
of that.
you, you're most definitely an ambassador of the product that you're taking a picture of.
Right.
So that's true. Yeah.
Right. And you sent me some other pictures that I want people to see because the one thing that we are going to be talking about is lupus.
Mhm.
And the biggest thing that I think about, because I'm also a nurse, is the fact that I know what lupus is like for our patients and things of that nature. And I want people to
Mhm.
see they've seen you at your best. Okay.
Right.
I want them to see what's going on and what you're talking about with dealing with lupus, because as you said, you were doing this so that individuals as well as yourself can know that your life does not have to end. Okay.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about this picture.
This picture was actually taken at City College, and I feel actually this is one of my favorite pictures also, and it was taken at City College, and I had left class, and I was feeling a little down, because I had to walk around with my face like that with all the marks on my face. And
Mm-hmm.
so I went in the bathroom and I started taking pictures, and I was like, I'm gonna make myself smile. I was talking to myself like, you're gonna smile. And I made myself smile. And to be honest with you, this is one of my favorite pictures. It really is, because it shows like a very sweet young lady who's not ashamed of who she is. And
Right.
I honestly feel like I wish I would have took more pictures like that during that
Mm-hmm.
time. Um, during that time, I didn't realize that God was healing me, because if when you see other pictures of me, my face is even darker, but it started lighting up, and I didn't realize that until like uh, many years later that God was healing me. I just didn't realize that, and that's how
Right.
things are.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. Here's some more. I
Yeah.
want you to tell us a little bit about these.
Okay, so these pictures are different phases in my life. The one on the left hand side was when my face started breaking out, and I didn't know why. The doctors couldn't tell me why, and I was really sad. No, I was really sad because it was the summertime and school was starting, and I worked at my son's school, so I was afraid that people was gonna, be looking at me and like, where, like, what happened to her,
Right.
and I felt like people was gonna be like, they don't want me to touch them because of how my face looked now. And the top pictures, the two on the left was taken at the hospital, and I had a flare up. So a flare up, a person with lupus who have a flare up that means that uh, your body is inflamed. So it means that it's overheating. That's
Right.
what it means.
Right.
So people, I'm fortunate that God bless me, because mine's happen outside of my skin versus in, the kidneys or whatever, the heart. So my
Right.
skin is able to heal versus someone who may have issues with their organs in the inside. But for my lupus, I would get these flare ups and my skin would get all puffy and itchy and burning, and it was really miserable. But the
Right.
hardest part about that is when I would go to the hospital and nobody would listen to me. That was one of the most difficult parts, like debating, should I go, because I don't want to have to beg for pain medication. I wanted them to take me seriously, and some doctors and nurses didn't, but the ones who did, I was very grateful for.
Right. and we're going to talk a little bit more in depth with about lupus. So, and as people can see, this there is no set place that this is going to occur. The breakouts and the inflammation and whatnot can occur anywhere. She's showing you here on the hands. You can see the face, the arm. Okay.
Yeah. So the picture on the left, reason why I look confused is because I was confused. I was like, what the hell is going on here? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I actually on that picture, they still hadn't given me answers. I was still waiting for my biopsies to come, and it was just miserable.
Now,
Benadryl wouldn't help me.
was that pre-diagnosis?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
pre-diagnosis, which was frustrating because they was giving me medications that wasn't making me better.
Right.
And then I had to wait for my insurance, and it was just it was a lot to take in. And I was
Right.
young too. I was in college. I was um I was in college, and I had young kids, and I was involved in their activities. I was also working, but when I got lupus, it just shut everything down.
Right. Right. So I want to go over with people so that they understand a little bit, you know, um, what lupus is. So, like you were saying, lupus is a chronic long-term disease that can cause inflammation and pain in any part of your body. It's an autoimmune disease, which means that your immune system, the body system that usually fights infections, attacks healthy tissue instead. And like you were saying, lupus most commonly affects your skin, joints, internal organs. Like you were saying, kidneys and heart. All right. So it can cause a lot of different symptoms. And like you were saying, um, you know, it's difficult because people don't understand that, you know,
Right?
people don't understand
But
that at all.
no, they don't. They think you're faking. Like the pain was so severe. I can't even describe to you how painful, not just physically, but
Right.
mentally, spiritually, it, and sometimes pain medication can't even help the pain that you're having.
Hmm. Right. So I want to go into um, some more talking to people about what inflammation is. Okay.
Hmm.
And because a lot of people, they don't really understand it, but we want to talk about this.
Right,
So, inflammation usually happens when your immune system is fighting on an infection or an injury. When lupus makes your immune system attack healthy tissue, it can cause inflammation in lots of different body parts. And symptoms can include swelling and pain. And that's what you were just talking about, is the pain that you were
right,
experiencing, and nobody was saying or doing anything about that. So,
right. Um,
how long
the
were you dealing with this before the actual diagnosis came about?
well, 2011, I had always dealt with like feeling weak.
Hmm.
And but in 2011, I felt like I had like the worst case of the flu, and it didn't go away. And then I also had this mark appear on my nose, and I thought just maybe like I scratched my nose too hard, but it was taking a long time to heal. And then the symptoms went away. But the following summer, I like going to the anybody who know me know I love the beach. So I went to the beach, and I just became really sick in 2012, and my skin started like literally peeling off of me. Like I would go to wash my face, and my skin would be in my towel, and my face would burn. Like everything hurt just out of nowhere.
Hmm.
And I went to the emergency room, and once again they're telling me that it's just in my head. They do that also. But God blessed me to find a doctor who thought that it could be lupus.
Right.
And so I would say it took about 3 to 6 months later for me to get a diagnosis from the onset of lupus.
Okay. Okay. Um, Now, I know that there are different types of lupus, and
Mhm.
the most common form of lupus is what they call SLE or systemic lupus erythematosus. Is
Right.
that the one that you deal with mostly?
Yeah, I have that, and I also have Sjogren's. A lot of times when you have lupus, it comes with other autoimmune diseases. I call them lupus sisters. So
Hmm.
I have multiple autoimmune diseases actually,
Okay.
but
Okay.
lupus is the main one.
Yeah. And the one thing that I had found out, which kind of shocked me, is the fact that there's a drug-induced lupus. It's a
Mhm.
lupus-like disease caused by certain prescription drugs. And
Right.
when you start talking about side effects and things of that nature, um, it doesn't talk that that's a specific side effect, but it could be one. And a lot of times it's
Right.
because of the medication you're taking, maybe too much, or things of that nature. So
Right.
the other one that I also learned about was the neonatal lupus,
Right.
and that's a
Mhm.
really rare condition that affects infants of women who have lupus. So
Right.
now, a question: did any of your family members before, mom, dad, sisters have anything like this?
Um, my children's been tested. None of them have it. It's always
Okay,
good to test your children. Thank God they don't have it. But a aunt of mine named Deborah Jones, she had it, and she actually died from it. And that's another reason why, you know, I advocate so much is in honor of her also. But yeah,
right.
she died.
And
Yeah.
and I want to just say, give a shout out to Jerome Marshall. He said, "Continue blessings to this young lady." All right, they are
Mm,
loving you and
thank you.
blessing you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
um, so I know a lot of people like that they don't know a lot about it, but who is at risk for developing lupus? Anyone can develop lupus, right?
Right.
However,
Anyone can develop it. Yeah.
hmm
Anyone can develop it, but 3 out of 5 women are African American who would develop it. And we also develop it a lot earlier. We're the ones who are less likely to even know what lupus is or even get a diagnosis of lupus.
right,
Yeah, the
and
people of
unfortunate,
color affects.
right. And I was just about to say certain racial or ethnic groups, African American, Asian American, Hispanic, and
Hmm.
Latinos, Native American, or
Right,
Pacific Islanders. And a lot of people don't know that women ages 15 to 44, that's the normal range that they'll start to
right.
see lupus. Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Right,
And just like you said, people who have a family member with lupus or another autoimmune disease can sometimes have this occur as well.
right.
Right, right. So now, the one thing a lot of people always ask is what causes lupus? Did anyone tell you why they think this occurred for you?
What they said say is genetics and environmental. And when they said environmental, trust me, I went trying to look for something that was out of place.
Hmm.
If it is water, the dirt, the paint, but they don't know.
Right,
They
right.
don't know where it comes from.
And I know from a medical standpoint, no one really knows what causes lupus. But lupus and other
No.
autoimmune diseases do run in families. But like you said,
Yeah, they
it
do.
was just an aunt, you know? Now, experts also think it may develop in response to certain hormones like estrogen or
Hmm.
environmental triggers, just like you said, you know? And
Right.
an environmental trigger is something outside the body that can bring on symptoms of lupus or make it worse. So, like you had said, you had
Right.
gone to the beach that time, and then you came down with a even worse case. It was exacerbated. So,
Right. Stress
right.
also can do it. During that time in my life, I believe that the lupus was dormant, but during that time in my life, it was a very stressful time also.
Hmm.
So I think with the sun and the stress, like it made it come out. That's what I think happened.
Right, right. Now, you talked a little bit about what you went through as far as, when you first started to feel certain things. You talked about a spot came out, and things of that nature. I know that a lot of times they say there's not any one first symptom or sign of lupus, you know. They say the early
Mhm.
signs and symptoms of lupus are generally the same as the symptoms of lupus. So it's not like you
Right.
start to, something occurs and it's not associated or connected. It's almost one and the same. Okay. And like you talked about, extreme fatigue, joint pain, and a lot of times they talk about a butterfly rash, you know.
Right.
So the other part is, however, the early stages and signs vary widely from person to person because I know
Mhm.
some other individuals that have lupus, and even when they're having a exacerbation, they may not
Mhm.
break out skin wise, like we said. Remember, we talked about it can
Right.
affect their organs as well. So I know some people that don't
Mhm.
have the skin issues, but the fatigue and the pain and so forth, um, they have that as well. So that's something that takes place.
The other
What were you
thing
gonna?
too, when it comes to lupus, it mimics other things, other diseases, other symptoms. So that's why it's such a hard diagnosis. And the fatigue. I can the fatigue can have me sleeping for days
Hmm.
and still wake up tired.
Right, right. And I know they talk about that the best way to determine this is a doctor can help you with a diagnosis, determine if the
Mhm.
symptoms you're feeling could possibly be lupus. And I know that
Right.
happened a few years back for you. And I think there's been a little bit more, what do I want to say, advancement and understanding of lupus.
Mhm.
So, I think now with rheumatologists and so forth, um, a primary, if you feel that you're having any of these symptoms and things of that nature that we're talking about, talk to your primary and they can get you over to a
Mhm.
rheumatologist who can do some
Right.
definitive testing to find out much sooner than later. So,
Right. That's the doctor they would see is a rheumatologist.
right. Now, I wanted to talk about two little known facts because you mentioned it when you were having a breakout before and you talked about being at school. 9 out of 10 people with lupus are women. That's the numbers that I
Right.
got from the Lupus
Mhm.
Association. Okay, all this information I got was from the Lupus Association. If you're feeling like you're having some issues, definitely go to lupus.com and you can find information about it. But the second one is lupus is not contagious. And I say that
Oh
because
yeah.
there are so many people that get it stuck in their head. If they see someone that looks different, first thing is, I don't want to catch it,
Right.
you know? And
Mhm.
lupus is not contagious. You can't catch lupus or give it to someone else,
No,
you
you
know?
can't. I'm
And
glad you said that.
yeah, because that's one of the things that I've seen patients coming in and I see other patients that are walking by. It's like they are trying to hug the wall. It's like, what are you doing? You know? Um, so yeah, that was important to me to make sure that people were aware of that. What
Right.
more do you have to say about that?
Everything you're saying is true. People they they want to make sure that they don't get sick. I understand too. I mean, the way I looked, I would have probably done the same thing. But I think it's important to inquire what's going on with a person. I would have had love for someone to ask me, like, what's going on with your skin. Um,
Right,
just be more aware of other people and ask them. I mean, I don't mind. I don't think anybody else will mind
right. As long as it's done properly. I have to put
properly.
that piece to it because
Right.
nowadays, unfortunately, people in their tact and things of that nature, they don't have empathy for one another anymore.
No, they
Um,
don't.
so, yeah, asking questions. I always say, ask a question. That's how you learn. That's how you
Right.
learn. So,
So true.
I want you to tell us, with having this, what made you feel you could model? And that might sound
You
like
want me?
yeah, I want you to tell me, with you having lupus, what made you think you could model?
What made me
Uh-huh.
think?
Yeah.
Because the God I serve. That's
Okay.
what made me think I can do it. That's why.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Because the big thing and why I asked that is right now, with you being on the show, you're an inspiration to a lot of individuals. There are so many people I know that have lupus that suffer from depression because of the simple fact they don't see someone like them doing anything like what you're doing. Okay?
Right.
That's why I
Right.
asked that question because I want them to know it doesn't have to stop you, you know, that you
No.
can fight through it. You can have, just like anyone else, I wouldn't say it's the same, but you can have good days and bad days.
Yeah. Having lupus, my whole message for people is not to live in the pain of lupus. Yes, it's devastating, it's a shocker, but even even on my worst days, I could find something good. And that's my whole thing. Don't live in the pain. You can still live your life. It's a new life. I feel that having an illness is an opportunity.
Hmm.
I wouldn't trade having lupus, and I know that some people are really suffering and they can't see past that, but it starts in your mind. You know what I mean? It starts in your mind and believing that you are going to get better. And also with having lupus, you have to make sure what you eat. And it's a whole what word am I looking for? Just like the lupus system, it's like a whole thing that you have to take care of. You have to take care of your mind, your mental well-being, your eating habits, your
Right.
drinking enough water, just stuff like that. Like having lupus has made me more aware of myself as a person.
And taking
You get
care
to
of
know
yourself
yourself
as
really
well.
well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad you had said that because it's not just one thing that you have to deal with. You deal with all of the body systems, like you said, from head to toe, from head to toe.
Mhm.
Just take care of everything like you're supposed to. And, it's probably put you in a better mindset as to be careful and watch your body and what's going on
Yeah.
with you. I know that that's the same for people that have a heart attack. All of a sudden you get them where now they're like, no, we're not going to eat that. I'm having that. Now they're
Yeah.
watching what they're eating and even drinking more water,
Mhm.
things of that nature. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
it will certainly give you the drive to take care of yourself. So that's
It
a
does.
great thing. Now,
It does for me.
I want you to tell people where have you gone to get assistance with lupus as far as organizations or things of that nature?
Um, People can go to the Lupus Foundation of America. If they're in San Diego, there's an organization called Lupus of Southern California. I
Hmm.
have my own organization called Lupus Warriors United. I created that because in my own community there was nowhere for me to go to ask questions or to get help. Um, so yeah, but the biggest one is Lupus of America.
So,
That would
with
be the
creating your own organization, people can reach out to you, you're saying?
Yeah, my organization is informative. And like for example, someone would reach out to me, they're just newly diagnosed with lupus. They don't really understand what lupus is all about, what they should ask
Hmm.
their doctors. They may have questions like on medication, or they may just want to know how I'm living my life, and they are sometimes they just want somebody to talk to. So I make myself
Right.
available for people.
Okay. I'm going to put up how you can reach Shakita, and it's Shakita Jones. She did give her cell number, 619-674-6694. Her email is Shakita Shanta Jones at gmail.com. And you can find her on LinkedIn as well, Shakita Jones. Okay. Um, and the big thing I say is if you really need to get a hold of her and you don't have any of this info, you can always go to Revive Our Culture, our website, leave us a contact info, and we'll get that message to her and so forth as needed. Um, I want to say, Shakita, I'm truly proud of you from
Thank you.
the modeling piece, definitely, without a doubt, because we've had you as one of our models in several of the fashion shows we've been a part of, and every time
Yeah.
you come with it, and so
Thank
I
you.
love that fact. But I also am proud of the fact that you're dealing with lupus and you're reaching out to help individuals that are in need. You know, as someone said, they definitely wanted to continue blessing you and so forth. And someone said, "Thanks for sharing this, DJ. I've definitely learned something tonight, and I'm so glad that people were able to tune in and learn." Like I said, this was going to be informative and inspiring
Hmm.
because, like
Yeah.
I said, Shakita, I've seen her a couple of times when she was having some outbreaks and whatnot, and then to turn around and see her modeling, you know, both times she was giving of herself as much as she could. So, Shakita, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here with us tonight. You know, um, I know that we've got some other stuff on the fashion side coming up, so I haven't
Okay.
forgotten you, and we'll
Remember
be
me.
reaching out. Yes, yes, we'll be reaching out to you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for this platform to help me spread awareness. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. And we can have you on here anytime so that we can, refresh people's memories and things of that nature. If we need to, I'll talk with Shakita, and if there's some individuals out there that have questions
Hmm.
and they don't know where to go, they can come on. We'll do another segment and have it to where you can come on and ask some questions and get your questions asked. How's that, Shakita? Sound good?
That sounds. I look forward to that.
All right, all right. Once again, thank you, dear, for being on with us, and you have a good
Thank
night.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you. You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So everybody, yeah, I've been looking at a couple of people, and they were talking with me, and some people asked some questions about it. I said, you know what? We need to go ahead and talk a little bit more about it. And there was no one else that I could think of to do that than Shakita. So, I hope that everyone was able to take something from this. If you had some questions, don't feel uh, bad. Feel free to go ahead. Like I said, go to reviveourculture.com. That's our website. Fill in the contact info, and you can ask us your questions and so forth. We'll get them to Shakita. We'll make sure. And I'll be putting her up on our social media, the information on how to reach her and so forth. So I want you to definitely be with us next week. Okay. Next week, we're going to, let me, I'm trying to remember, but I got to go to the calendar. We're going to have Miss Chandra Gore, who will be on, and she is an author and motivational speaker. She'll be with us next week. So make sure you tune in next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Straight Talk with DJ Doc. All right, everybody. Peace.